you so much for joining us for this edition of All Angles Investigates, our spin-off program where we do a deep dive into one particular issue. Our hashtags are All Angles Investigates and Shark Attack. I'm Dion Jax-Miller. With me is Giovanni Dennis, a reporter for this episode. Giovanni, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, we were on an assignment last year and the fisherman mentioned that his colleague had his arm bitten off by a shark. That sparked my interest and that's where Shark Attack began. A regular day at sea, on the job, and this happens.
I'm my head. I'm my head. I'm make shark name, my brother.
Being in the dominion of sharks can be scary. Surrounded by water, no land in sight, circled by the sea's apex predator. These are spearfishermen from Mitchelltown, Clarendon. This was recorded in 2021, one of the regular sightings of sharks by fishermen in Jamaican waters.
Just sketch a Billy's base, see me? Big old dirty shark.
On January 21, 2023, a video surfaced on social media site TikTok. It depicted an 11-foot shark surrounded by scores of people in this spot, right here in Billy's Bay, Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth. The fisherman who caught that shark was Richard Parchment. Another colleague, Bazmore Moxham, was having difficulties with his fishing net entangled in the reef.
We set the net in the night, right? So it's like the net fast in the stone, so we couldn't get it clear in the night. So if I set it back off, and go clear it in the morning.
Mr. Parchment is the best diver in Treasure Beach. Mr. Moxham sought his help.
When I tell him to pull it up and keep coming towards where it's hitched, then I can start clear it when the boat came closer. When I start looking to see if I see any fish in it, saw a couple good sized fish like this. When I go down closer to the boat, saw the shark entangling in it. But it was wrapped up so much that even the rope tied him up.
What crossed your mind when you saw the shark tangling in it?
Well, I just say I never want him to get out because when I saw him, he was facing to me. And the mouth was big and it was a big shark. So I went around the other way and I have a good look at him. And I come up and I tell the guy that he can catch jaws in the net.
Neither was afraid of the shark.
The spearman, them afraid of them.
Why?
Because if you see him now shoot him, they're going to eat the same way. I want world or something, you know. Brother, I'm about 5 years old at the boat. 11 feet 5 inches.
5 inches.
On the measuring.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Moxham is right. Spearfishers more than any other are likely to encounter sharks, even though Jamaican waters are not known for large populations of the predator.
We are blessed with that in Jamaican waters. There's not a lot of sharks.
A 2010 study concluded that contemporary sharks other than nurse sharks are largely absent on reefs in the Greater Caribbean. But spearfishers are more likely to see the sharks that are present.
The spearfishermen, though, fish almost every day except Sundays, perhaps. And therefore, the chances of them coming across a shark or vice versa is much higher than the average fisherman who is using a fish trap. So spearfishing by itself is almost a guaranteed way to meet a shark.
Dr. Carl Aiken is a retired lecturer in marine zoology and sits on the Fisheries Management Board as a director. Spearfishers are also more likely to be attacked. More on this later. Bustin isn't a spearfisher, but
tell me every time. Yeah. I run the boat and enough. Yeah, man. If you ever drop over it, they eat you.
How you feel about them?
Me afraid of them.
He remembers a close call.
Yeah? You just over bank already, you know? Yeah, man.
I have to hurry up on
Wait. Because I make us get back in the boat. And same as I go in the boat and we come just to eat me. Same as if I hold the boat and I go up and almost hold on my foot. We have feel. I feel until I nearly dead.
Bastin's fishing partner, Ernie, isn't fearful.
You afraid of them?
Not really, because I'm in boat. I mean, no plan to go over there.
So you don't really take the check with you?
No, sir, no. If I think come on the boat, it's like nothing to me. It's just another fish.
Okay.
Or a shark. But I don't really have no fear of them.
You don't have no fear?
I don't plan to go over there. And he can't come in the boat, can't take me out.
Except, listen to Leroy Parchment's story.
Yes, we had an experience with shark jump into the boat at Pijoki while taking fish. And we have to escape out of the boat and get in another boat and try to get him out of the boat because he would damage us.
There are many hammerhead and tiger sharks around Pijoki's. This is because of the fishing culture in the area.
And what the fishers do on the big vessels, these are decked vessels that are sometimes 70, 80 feet long, is that they throw spoiled fish or spiny fish or unsaleable fish into the water. The trouble with that is that there's a lot of blood and slime and mucus on the deck of the vessel doing the sorting. And there are cases in the not so distant past where fishermen slip in the mucus and the blood and fall overboard. Of course, the sharks in the water think that, oh, here comes a big fish, and they immediately grab the fisherman. And there have been medevac cases where the Jamaica Defense Force Air Wing has to send a helicopter for a medical evacuation because these big hammerheads immediately grab a limb and they don't part with that limb.
While the fishers in St. Elizabeth only had close calls, a group of fishers in Clarendon had a close encounter. For their story, we must revisit the morning of June 24, 2022. It started as a regular morning for Michael Simpson and his colleagues. They gathered at the Salt River fishing beach, ate breakfast, sorted their tools, readied their boat as they usually do, then sailed off to sea. But that morning, something felt off for Michael Simpson, or Mikey as he's called.
Now the water frustrated.
Frustrated because he simply did not feel like fishing that Saturday.
In the water about 10 to 15 minutes. When I see no fish and I get fed up and I say I swim got the boat. So I make a left turn and feel something lick up in me. So I say, man, I can't ramp him, man, and then I say to myself, no sir. No man can't lick up on me. So that must the guy make me lick up in the boat. So I go look for the boat for true now. When I look at the shark, I see on my hand. So
what crossed your mind when you see the shark?
When I see him, first thing come across my mind, I say, I dream.
But he wasn't dreaming. To live to tell his story, he had to survive the fight of his life.
So when I realized the shark and I look upon him now, he just a wiggle him tail and he not move. So I have the fish gun in my hand. So I start shark need, so I start stab him, but he not get no good stab or none, so he start moving head, he can't take it no more, so he comes up boop and dive off with me in the deep. So when he dive off with me, the goggles gone off of my face, the gun gone, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I just find myself on top of him. And I lap him, and I push my finger in his gill, and
which finger?
The left hand finger, this finger.
Mikey was fortunate to have been so close to the boat that day, so his arm could have been quickly tied to stop the bleeding.
I come up and go down, so the guy where I drive the boat and see what's going on. I come up there the boat, and when he hear the boat, he start wrestle till I let him go on him and pop off. The guy come right upon me in the boat, which meant do a good job. Hold on upon the boat with me right hand, and I say, jam me up, and he pull me up, and I said to him, say, sharp bite off me under my youth, here we do. Get one rope and tie on my arm, tight.
If that did not happen,
I think we would have bleed out to death.
The captain then picked up the remainder of their colleagues. Then they immediately set off to hospital.
So when a shutter come along, we have a elder on the land. We and him live good. So we call him and tell him if we meet we a Jamal Port on the Port Escoville Road because that's the nearest spot we can go. So as we reach us now, boom, we take him out, lift him out, put him in the car trunk, Lionel Town.
What has it been like going back out there since, like, in the back of your mind? Like,
well, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to go back on the sea, but water battle. Because we go out there and hunt him. If we try to go back in the era, and we go back in the era, and we tell the truth. Him gun left on the CCM, and in glass left on the CCM. We don't go back in the era there all now.
Why not?
Because we afraid of him, because we can't catch him. Or be honest, you understand? Everybody kind of scared. Man no come back see no see me no dive no come back see me no. Man ain't kind of scared. Cause we don't see shark still. But the captain see shark and Mikey see shark and he say I'm the biggest shark and we know the tiger shark and the baddest shark. So that kind of get everybody scared.
Our 1 million sitting across my mind, you know. Things like Top Garcia, me should have went there. Me da shoot the shark. All kind of thing me I think. Really still if me in the side of him, me da put a shot in him. Or me feel like say me da swim go toward Mikey go war the shark if me in the near side of him.
We spoke with Mikey in July last year as he was heading to hospital for treatment. He is convinced that specific tiger shark has attacked other fishermen.
There's a friend in Mitchelltown fishing at Salt River Beach, see me. That shark they attack him.
With that, we went in search of that friend. His name, Jerry. We'll be right back.